Again, I was just going to ask, obviously the qualification for the Champions League will always be important, vital for a club of Liverpool's stature. I remember when you beat Middlesbrough in 2007, what a big step that was for you. Is there a greater financial pressure this year because of the COVID situation on getting in there for next year and knowing where you stand?
So the main reason for qualifying for Champions League was financial reasons. So it's a great competition to play in, but for the club, it's about, so you want to excite some players to join. I mean, in the beginning, it was like this when I was sitting there and players had offers from clubs who played in Champions League, and it was like, okay, sorry, we only can offer either way nothing or European League. But apart from that, it's always about finances. This year, there's no difference, I would say. So, of course, it would be very important. Yes, absolutely. But that it's important cannot change the thing. So we just have, I hope people still see that we do our best, our absolute best, and try absolutely everything, and to make it happen. But we will see how that will end up. Yeah, that's it pretty much. So if you ask me, so it's not that the owners or whatever called me and said, if you don't qualify for Champions League, then this or that will happen. Because we are all together in this situation, we all understand the situation, and so it's they know that we try absolutely everything to qualify for Champions League again. That's clear.
Thank you.
Okay, and then Chris Bascom, which potentially is the last question. Chris?
Yeah, sorry in advance, because Matt kicked me out when you were answering the last question, so you repeated the same thing. It was about Thomas Tuchel again. When you look at his sides, do you see your own teams reflected back, or is that too easy? Because you're both from Germany, you both play attacking football. Is it? What do you see in his side that might be the same or different to yours?
It's not so easy to compare, to be honest, but because yes, he played different. So when he arrived at Mainz, he played different football to what we played when we were there. That's true. So Thomas started playing then a more possession-based football, or pretty early with Mainz, for example. Which was for us in the Bundesliga with the resources we had, not really possible. For us, it was a different fight, it was a different generation. So you can compare it. So he has a much better record than I will ever have at Mainz, for example. So plus winning much more Bundesliga games than when we ever won. It was just different times. You can compare it, or you don't do it, whatever you want. That's completely fine. Dortmund, yeah. But maybe he used to be slightly more possession based. I think that's a difference in the organization, maybe. But we changed in that department a lot, so it's not there's no massive difference philosophy wise anymore, I would say. No, apart from that, I'm not sure how to. I should watch much more games to answer these questions of Thomas Tuchel teams. When I saw few games of Paris, I saw now 3 games of Chelsea, but it's really early at Chelsea. And I years back I saw a few of Dortmund. So no, it didn't. I don't know enough to be ready to compare it.
Thank you, Paul Joyce, for the final question of the presser before Chelsea get the ball.
Jürgen, against Sheffield United, it looked like there was maybe a few tweaks in the formation. From an attacking point of view, it was a little difficult to work out at times where everybody was. What did you try and do in that game? Because it looked like you were playing with 2 holding midfielders at times, and not all that. Could you just sort of talk a little bit about the tweaks that you made in that game?
was about, in the end, it's an easy answer. It was about bringing enough players involve enough players in the finishing, in the creating situation, and then in the finishing situation. So that's it. Keep the width, offer depth, have enough players in between. That's a short summary of it, pretty much, and be always well protected. So that's it, pretty much. Because yes, we had to be dominant in the game. We had to be very flexible. I think a back five, in the manner Sheffield plays, all the predictable stuff, they defend really well. That's how it is. It's well organized. If you can make it slightly more unpredictable, then it gets more difficult and you have a better chance. So that's why I like the first half a lot, because the chances we created were actually exceptional. So and we're kind of based off that formation. If you want the chance, Bobby had the big one when he was around Sadio in that moment. Sadio in the center, Bobby is around him, picks up the second ball or the deflected ball and goes 1-on-1 with the goalie. These kind of things. When we scored the goals, we had enough bodies in the box, even when we only one scored the goal, obviously. But when you see the pictures back, you see we have enough players, and what we needed that day. So very often it ends up in these kind of games where you're really dominant possession-wise, that in the end you have a lot of players who are involved in creating and not enough involved in finishing. And so that's what we tried to change for this game.